This video was brought to you by Stormberg, a better route planner, MisterGreen, Kempower and Marcus Bil. Yo, what's up? We are now in Chiangdao, Thailand, and behind me here you see MacGyver. That's what I call him. But it's a Tesla Model 3 long range from Giga Shanghai. And in this video, I'm going to show you the juicy stuff. Silent like a ninja. Amber's dad arrives in electric scooter. We have two of those. But anyway, so you want to see the BMS, the ScanMyTesla, the juicy stuff. First, let me show you a little walk around. If you want to see the VIN, it's not on the driver's side. It's actually on the left side, which is the right side, not the right side, which is the wrong side. And then I was also looking for the OBD port, but I couldn't find it in this car for some reason. In the Norwegian car, for example, it will be on the driver's side, on that side. But here, I can't find it. And there's a panel here with some kind of lock there. It could be behind that one, I'm not sure. But anyway, so when I connect ScanMyTesla or the OBD adapter, you can look in the description below. You have to pop this panel and then you connect an adapter here that listens to the data stream, and then you use a regular OBD adapter. I use this one, OBD LX, which I think only works for Android, but you can just find it. OBD adapters are everywhere. I use the same adapter for other cars like e-Niro, Ioniq 5, Leaf. The same adapter goes with that one, at least the green one. Okay, anyway, and then it's connected via Bluetooth, and I use this app. It's called ScanMyTesla, and I just charge it via the USB here. And by the way, many people also wonder, yes, do you have communication? Well, yes, I have. Let's just demonstrate here. If I plug it in, there is no chip shortage here. We see we have communication here, and all the USB-C ports are mounted. But okay, so now I'm gonna get ready, and then we'll look at the data. All right, before we start, we have to pop an Oishi. So this video was not sponsored by Oishi yet. Ah, man. It's a nice tea, not too sweet, green tea. I love it. Okay, anyway, let's see now. So here we have ScanMyTesla, and we are at 60%. I figured out that 60% on this car is plenty for when we are just stationary here at Chiangdao. So let's see, let me just adjust the camera a little bit there. Okay, so for example, you see here the range here, this one here, 344 kilometers of ideal range, typical range. It means that well, over here we use so little electricity when driving, because it's, well, right now you can see that it's 18.5 degrees Celsius. In the daytime it becomes around 28 degrees over here at Chiangdao. So you can actually drive around at least 250-300 kilometers around here, so that's plenty. We will have lower degradation then. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a small humming in the background. I'm not sure if I heard that in other Model 3s before. But okay, anyway, so let me explain for you guys who haven't seen it. This app is called ScanMyTesla. It's a Norwegian developer, I know him. And then the cable I showed you initially is a German guy called Michael. He's been making those cables. So you can find information in the description below how to get the cable and how to get this app. And then you can see all the goodies here. So we have state of charge here, highly accurate. We have voltage in the pack right now. We have current going out to the main battery. This is then the power kilowatt going out of the battery. For example, if you fire up the HVAC, HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, air conditioning, which is just a general term for climate control. You will see that suddenly the kilowatt goes up here. and then it might do some heat scavenging, or I'm not sure. If you look at the battery inlet here, whatever. Okay, well, let's stop it for now. We don't need heater here. Front and the rear power here. This is for front and rear motor. For dual motor, for single motor, you will only have the rear stuff. Here we have maximum discharge power, but I don't think we can trust this one. The number here has been incorrect for the longest time, because you have more than 286 kilowatt. I think actually if you floor it, you will have over 300 kilowatt. Should be around 350 maybe, from what I remember. Yeah, at 60% with, yeah. So anyway, so here we have the torque in Newton meter, front and rear. Max regen power, that sounds about right. Yes, we should be able to get close to 85 kilowatt when we regen. And then here are the temperatures for the front and the rear stators. And here we have the cell temp mid, which is just, it's not an average. I'm not sure how they got, but it's okay, close to the average value of the cell temperature. And you see, interestingly, it rests at 28 degrees. I think it was 24 degrees when I came up into the car earlier this morning. But then I fire up the HVAC, and maybe the afterburners ran for a little bit to heat up the battery. And yeah, but how is the battery inlet? The battery inlet means that that the liquid going into the battery is actually slightly cold, and yeah. So it might be cooling down the battery slightly, I'm not sure. Here's the speed, outside temperature, battery. Yeah, these are the two pumps, the battery flow pumps and the powertrain flow pumps. And right now it has usable remaining 45 kilowatt hour. Here's the nominal full pack, 78 kilowatt hour. Ooh, there was one guy, he claimed that I have the LG L5 battery or something. I'm not sure what it is. Regenerated stuff. This is just trip information, nominal remaining station. This is just trip stuff, and then the odometer here. Yeah, it's quite new. But let me show you. Let's just go to the alt tab. This is the juicy stuff. I think I show, okay, package, but I'll skip. There's so many variables here, but I will at least comment and explain. The reason why I make this kind of long video is because some people have never seen this app before. They don't even know what it's called. Remember, it's called ScanMyTesla. But for other cars, I might have to use Car Scanner for Ioniq 5 or, yeah, and then for BMW i3, I use the electrified app. So there are several apps, but Car Scanner tends to work with many different cars. But okay, over here, it's all about ScanMyTesla. There are other apps out there, but I prefer to use ScanMyTesla because I like it the most, and it seems to have lots of cool stuff, and you can configure it a lot. But okay, anyway, you see some of the stuff here, serial parallel. Okay, I'm not going to explain too much about this. 5-way, okay. Now this one is not updated. It has octoval, but it's, I guess I'm using the old version when it had 5. It had pentaval back then. Radiator bypass 100%. Ah, okay. So yeah, this should mean that it's just passing by the radiator to maybe cool it down. But okay. Let me show you now interesting stuff. Oil flow. Okay, there's some oil flowing going. Max digital power. Okay. What the heck is this? Huh? No, they can't be right. No, oh shit. And from time to time, this will happen. It's a prime example. It happens now. And then it just bugs. And what I usually have to do to fix this is that I think this might just be a problem with my equipment. I have to unplug just the green adapter thing, the OBD-LX, and then I plug it in again, because it tends to happen on this tab because we have so much data and there's some kind of data pack overflow. I haven't heard of other people getting this problem that commonly. And then usually if I just unplug and plug it in, yeah, see, now we're up and running again. Okay. But okay, here at least it shows you that max discharge current is 1150 amp. And remember that we are at 60%. If we charge it up to 90% and the battery is a bit warmer, then we should be getting even more current than this. Yeah, this is claimed by the BMS what it can do. Max charge current. Oh, really? Huh? Max charge current is 255 amp. Quick math is that we should be able to charge at 100 kilowatt now or something. We're at 255. Let me do the math here. Since I'm doing this kind of on the fly here, so sorry. Usually at low state of charge, you will have around 350 volt times 255 amp. Okay, no, 90 kilowatt. Yeah, that sounds about right given the temperature we have right now. And well, actually, I guess that's what it also claims here. Max charge power is then 95 kilowatt. Yeah, okay. Steering angle. You see, if I twist the steering angle, you shouldn't do it too much when you're stationary, but to show you that all these data are live. Brake pedal on off. Okay, but okay. Anyway, here DC charge total 172 kilowatt hour. AC charge. You see, I've been taking a trip to Pattaya with two Thai women. No, but and then I use a lot of DC, but I think for the most part, as long as I'm around here, I'm going to be using mostly AC. Charging at home here, and then driving to Chiang Mai, and then also at Chiang Mai I'll probably just AC charge at the mall. So we will see. This might be completely different than with MC Hammer in Norway, or with the other cars I had where I was pulling trailer and stuff, right? And DC fast charge a lot. I mean, I will still do some challenges with this car in Thailand, but most likely the AC part will be way bigger. In Norway, with the other cars I had in the past, the DC charging would be around 2-3 times higher than the AC portion here. Okay, and then this is what the heck? Oh, okay, this is the DC. This one here, it's the trip. The current trip, you can reset it, and then suddenly it'll be 0. You can try to do it here. Reset trip, see what happens. It should be 0. It takes a little while before it becomes 0. But the region total is also part of the trip, because this app has so many features. You can set a trip. For example, if you like now, yeah, when I reset on this tab, I then you then take a snapshot of all the data currently. And then you can actually you can switch off the app, and then next time you open it again, or while you're driving on a trip, it will then check against the checkpoint we had and calculate the differences, how much energy you spend or charge, or how long you've been driving. So it's like a trip meter. Basically, it's a trip meter, but it shows way more than the car's onboard trip meter. Anyway, so region, I haven't region that hard. Drive, okay. Skip. What the heck? Average consumption 161 watt-hour per kilometer. I'm not sure what number that one is. Sorry, but okay. Here, the juicy stuff. Okay, here comes the juicy stuff. Nominal full pack, 78.5 kilowatt hour. I'm like, oh, okay, because why am I so excited about this? Because in the past, the LG battery, okay, the cars coming from China, correct me if I'm wrong, because sorry, I don't know everything, all the details about this, but in the past, what we've seen in Norway, we have mainly 2 types of batteries. We have the Panasonic 82 kilowatt hour. I measured around 76 kilowatt hour net capacity from 100% down to 0%. I don't measure it below 0. Around 76 kilowatt hour in the Panasonic battery. That was at least appearing in the Model 3 Performance. I don't remember. Wait, maybe the long range also got it. I'm not sure. Yeah, the long range also got it. The one that has 613 kilometer of VLTP range. But also, many people have been getting the LG battery with only 70 kilowatt hour net capacity. But then this one here, okay, I'm going to have to explain how does these numbers work. Nominal full pack is if you charge the battery to 100% and then you drive it until it stops. But already at 0%, there is a buffer below 0, and that buffer is this one here, the energy buffer is the one. So supposedly, if you drive it to 0, you will still have 3.5 kilowatt hour left before the car shuts down. Say, yeah. So what you can do then, for me, when I measure capacity in every EV, not only Tesla, I will not count any buffer below 0, because most people, they don't drive below 0. So what you do then, you take the 78.5 kilowatt hour, then minus the 3.5, that means that this car should have 75 kilowatt hour net capacity, and that is 5 kilowatt hour more than the LG, the previous LG battery. You guys remember the black Model 3 I borrowed from Watertown Group? That one had 70 kilowatt hour net capacity. So I'm lucky to get this one here with 75 kilowatt hour. I need to measure it, but again, this is what the BMS claims. Usually what I see is that the actual energy we get out of the battery is usually around 0.5 to 1 kilowatt hour less than this. So we will see by the end of the day how much we get out of this. But this is great news. I'm lucky to get a car with good battery. But I'm going to show you some more numbers soon. But yeah, usable remaining is then what we have from 60% down to 0, if I remember correctly. And full pack when new, yeah, it claims 78.8 kilowatt hour, and you see it claims battery degradation, a little bit of battery degradation. So as the car rolls out of the factory in the first few months, it will actually have the biggest drop in degradation. And many car manufacturers, EV manufacturers, they know about this, and they offset it by actually giving you slightly more than what you have. So for example, the BMW i3, it's claimed to have 100, I mean, by manufacturer spec, it's 120 amp hour, but I've seen a branch banking new i3 has 129 amp hour. And then of course they, yeah, you know what I mean? So, don't just look at this battery degradation number and like, oh no, it already degraded already. No, but maybe by specification, we're supposed to have only 72, 73 kilowatt hour, and we actually have 75 now, you know? But okay, anyway, we have the front oil temp, okay, blah, blah, da, 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 just scroll here, scroll here, scroll here. So sorry for this video is going to be very long because I just want to explain in detail, because what usually happens is if I'm too brief about stuff, people start asking in the comments, and then I have to type to hundreds of people. Like, did you move to Thailand? No. Why did you buy a car in Thailand? No. You know? All right, but anyway, we have some numbers here also: outside temperature filtered, and the target. This is yeah, supposedly I think the 55 here is the, if the battery for some reason, if it sits here in Thailand, it becomes really hot, 55 degrees, it will then kick in the active cooling. I think that's how it works. And then also pass, and I don't remember all these numbers. And then I guess if the battery goes below -7 degrees Celsius, which would not happen in Thailand, it will actually actively heat up the battery. So this is again a general misconception. People think that, oh, if you park, like for example, when you park the Tesla at the airport or just park at home, and then the battery, you lose 5% overnight. People say, well, was it sentry mode on? Well, if sentry mode is on, it will usually suck around 3 to 4% only overnight. But if it loses more, for example, 10% overnight, people claim that, oh, but it's winter in Norway right now, and the car was heating up the battery. No. It takes a long time for the battery to cool down. If you've been driving and the battery, you park the car with 20 degrees Celsius in the battery, overnight it will usually cool down to only 5 degrees or 0 degrees Celsius. You have to soak it for a long time. And not only that, but the temperature during the day might be a bit higher. So it takes a long time for you to reach -7 degrees Celsius in the battery pack. I haven't seen it many times. Even when I do my test, in the morning hours, like the yellow test, it was still at a couple of degrees Celsius or maybe 0. I don't remember how it was. But okay, anyway, let's discharge. Okay, this is some numbers that ScanMyTesla try to count how many cycles you have, discharge cycles. This is, I believe these are calculated variables in the app, not provided by the car's BMS. Yeah, stationary is actually very useful. You can see how many kilowatt hour you use stationary. This is also part of the trip meter I mentioned. Blower speed, I can show you if we do this. Then the evap enable. Yeah, so then stuff starts happening here. You see, and also the question people ask: Did you get the new Ryzen chip? No, unfortunately, it's not. It's the old Intel Atom, and also I think we also we can see the voltage here also. We have 13.5 volt. If we had the new lithium battery, it would be at 15-16 volts. So unfortunately, we don't have that one. Here we have the DC-DC converter. You know, we don't have, it's not a fossil car, so in order to charge up the 12-volt system, we actually need to convert DC from the high voltage into DC and the lower voltage. And why do we still have the 12-volt system? Well, it's I guess it's because of safety. In case the main battery is dead, DED, then you need to still have that auxiliary to be able to open the door and run the screen and put the car in neutral and all that. So that's one reason I think that we still have the 12-volt system. Because you sometimes think you can just cut it out and then you only run the DC-DC, but what if the battery is dead? Then you can't run the DC-DC. Okay, anyway, are we done with the... I think we are done. That was the bottom, but I'm going to show you something here. You see, the bottom here. Full rated range is claimed to be 575 kilometers. That is actually close to the 613 VLTP you get in the European cars with the 82 kilowatt hour Panasonic battery. So I guess I'm lucky to get this battery, and we'll find out how much we can get out of it. All the other tabs are really just subsets of this, that with the all tab, so I don't need to go through that one. I'm just going to show you. If you go to battery, it's just a selection of all the variables we already seen, and then this one here is more like easier to read for me, so I'm using this tab when I'm driving the car. So now you guys have seen it, and I guess just let the comments flow. How was it? What kind of battery is it? It's LG battery, right? And then I don't even know how fast we can charge, because as of today there are not that many high power chargers in Thailand. I think that one of the fastest ones is a Delta, the Delta 150 kilowatt. It's in Hua Hin, which is around 800-900 kilometers from here. So I'm not able to test the supercharger or the HPC speed yet, but maybe maybe next year we'll be able to test it. But okay, anyway, I don't know if there's anything you want me to test. Maybe I should test acceleration on this car. Should I do some... Well, I didn't bring the noise level thing, but we'll see. But at least I will do, and what I'm going to do soon is an initial battery test to measure how many kilowatt hour you can actually get out of the battery. Not just by looking at the BMS, because the BMS is what it claims to have, but what I've seen over and over again, not only with Tesla but with the other EVs, is that what you actually get out of the battery is what matters. And as the battery ages, you will then have more internal resistance, and then it means that even if the battery claims it has 70 kilowatt hour left, you might only get 68 kilowatt hour from it because of internal resistance as you discharge the battery, because you're driving it. So that's why I'm actually doing the long test, which is to do the actual test and see what you get out of it. It takes some time, but it's worth it, because this is going to be the first checkpoint that I check, and then I would come back in 1 year or something, and then I do another degradation test and see how the battery has degraded, because this is also very interesting to test in Thailand. Because in Thailand, we're seeing the sun is rising, temperature is rising. Well, the sun has been up for a while. You see, we're already at 19.5 degrees Celsius. Over here in Chiang Dao, it's going to be resting mostly in Chiang Dao, which is far north in Thailand. And fortunately, over here at night, in winter, it can be as cold as 5 degrees Celsius, but nowadays it's mostly around 15 degrees Celsius at night. So it gives time for the battery to cool down. And then in the daytime, it might be 25 degrees, but it's just sitting here in the shade most of the time. But if I'm driving around here or to Bangkok, I've seen that the battery heats up to around 45 degrees, and it might be staying at that temperature. But also in summer, around March, April, May, it's then the hot season over here. And then it can be around 35 degrees here in the daytime. Maybe in the evening it's even 25 degrees over here. So we'll see how it goes with the whole degradation of the battery, but I will be keeping the battery at 60%. I will set the charge limit at 60% to minimize the degradation. So it's going to be super interesting, because remember that not everyone lives in Europe. We have people living in other places, Asia or Australia, where you also have hot weather, and how is this going to affect the degradation? And also, we don't have LFP battery. We have, I think this is NCA, was it? So is it going to be good? Is it going to degrade a lot more in a hot country versus a cold country like Norway? We'll find out. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.